Hey everyone, welcome back with another session of geography. I hope you all are doing well. So today we'll start the proceedings with physical features of India. Now, physical features of India. You have already learned earlier that India is a vast country with varied landforms. Okay. Now, if you live in the plains, you are familiar with the vast stretches of plain land. Now, in contrast, if you live in hilly region, the rugged terrain with mountains and valleys are common features. In fact, our country has practically all major physical features of the earth, that is, mountains, plains, deserts, plateaus, and islands. Now, the land of India displays great physical variation. Geologically, the peninsular plateau constitutes one of the ancient landmasses on the Earth's surface. It was supposed to be one of the most stable land blocks. Now, the Himalayas and the northern plains are the most recent landforms. From the viewpoint of geology, Himalayan mountains form an unstable zone. The whole mountain system of Himalaya represents a very youthful topography with high peaks, deep valleys, and fast flowing rivers. Now, the northern plains are formed of alluvial deposits, and the peninsular plateau is composed of igneous and metamorphic rocks with gently rising hills and wide valleys. Now, if we see the major physiographic divisions, the physical features of India can be grouped under the following physiographic divisions, such as the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains, and the islands. Today, we'll start the proceedings with the Himalayas. Now, the Himalayan mountains. The Himalayas geologically young and structurally fold mountains stretch over the northern borders of India. Okay, so these mountain ranges run in a west-east direction from the Indus to the Brahmaputra. Now, the Himalayas, they represent the loftiest and one of the most rugged mountain barriers of the world. They form an arc which covers a distance of about 2400 km. Their width varies from 400 km in Kashmir to 150 km in Arunachal Pradesh. Now, the altitudinal variations are greater in the eastern half than those in the western half. Now, if we see, the Himalaya consists of three parallel ranges in its longitudinal extent. A number of valleys lie between these ranges. Now, the northmost range is known as the Great or Inner Himalayas or the Himadri. It is the most continuous range consisting of the loftiest peaks with an average height of 6,000 meters. It contains all prominent Himalayan peaks. The folds of the Great Himalayas are asymmetrical in nature. The core of this part of Himalayas is composed of granite. It is perennially snowbound and a number of glaciers descend from this range. Now, the range lying to the south of the Himadri forms the most rugged mountain system and is known as Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. The ranges are mainly composed of highly compressed and altered rocks. The altitude varies between 3700 and 4500 meters, and the average width is of 50 kilometers, while the Pir Panjal range forms the longest and the most important range. The Dauladhar and the Mahabharat ranges are also prominent ones. Now, this range consists of the famous valley of Kashmir, the Kangra, and the Kulu Valley in Himachal Pradesh. This region is well known for its hill stations. Next up we have, that is, the outermost range of the Himalayas is called the Shivaliks. Now these Shivaliks, they extend over a width of 10 to 50 km and have an altitude varying between 900 and 1100 meters. These ranges are composed of unconsolidated sediments brought down by rivers from the main Himalayan ranges, located further north. Now these valleys are covered with thick gravel and alluvium. The longitudinal valley lying between Lesser Himalayas and the Shivaliks are known as dunes. Dehradun, Kotli Dun and Patli Dun are some of the well-known dunes. Now, besides the longitudinal divisions, the Himalayas have been divided on the basis of the regions from west to east. Now, these divisions have been demarcated by river valleys. For example, the part of Himalayas lying between Indus and Satluj has been traditionally known as Punjab Himalaya. But it is also known regionally as Kashmir and Himalaya, from west to east respectively. Now the part of the Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali rivers is known as Kumaon Himalayas. The Kali and Tista rivers demarcate the Nepal Himalayas, and the part lying between Tista and Dehang rivers is known as Assam Himalayas. There are regional names also in these broad categories. Okay. Now, the Brahmaputra marks the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. Beyond the Dehang Gorge, the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of India. They are known as the Purvanchal or the eastern hills and mountains. These hills running through the northeastern states are mostly composed of strong sandstones, which are sedimentary rocks. Covered with dense forest, they mostly run as parallel ranges and valleys. The Purvanchal comprises the Patkai Hills, the Naga Hills, the Manipur Hills, and the Mizo Hills. Okay, so that's all we have in this session. I hope you have liked it. So until the next time with different topic, bye bye.